Welcome to the closing remarks of the video, which is known as Year 2026 United States versus China. Considering today and comparing the current statistics with 2026 projected, I don't think there is anything until otherwise there is a big political fallout, whether act of God, any kind of currency war, any kind of natural disaster, or probably the complete collapse of the national governments, which is also possible. I see China as a superpower by 2026. Because just assume that if by 2026, mathematically speaking, China able to get near about 20 trillion worth of GDP, which is huge, around 5 times of India. If we compare the statistics projected of 2026 and just assume a 5% growth rate from 2026 onwards, it means China might be adding, I repeat, China might be adding at least 1 trillion every year from 2026 onwards. Compare this with US, it is near about 2% maximum 2%. When we speak about debt levels, unemployment figures, having politically exposed people at the top like Securities and Exchange Commission, Department of Justice, CFTC, and many other forums, I believe US dollar to fall. I know, just like in 2018, I talk about SoftBank, Yes Bank, Sequoia, many big fours. This video will also offend many. I'm sure about that. This video would also offend many, but having said that, it hardly bothers. Let it be honest. But yes, at the end, one thing which is very clear and straightforward, which we need to acknowledge. Number one, these publications, including Bloomberg, they are more or less worthless. You will never get the realistic picture in these publications, even in the channels like Bloomberg. They are pro-government. They never put the realistic fact into the picture. This whole article, the 31 trillion worth of national debt, or technically speaking, sovereign debt in the books of United States not mentioned. The debt ceiling not mentioned. The 2.5 trillion additional debt ceiling not mentioned. Chinese yuan CNH linked not mentioned. Chinese, 10-year, which is around 2.8% compared with US 1.8%, not mentioned. The refinancing cost not mentioned, but this is a magazine. To be honest and precise, I think in another 2 to 3 years, even if we not speak about 2026, it would surely be a tough time. Would surely be a tough time for hedge funds because they need to rely on their intuitions, because anything can possible. Let's see how this shapes up, but In next 3 to 4 years would be very interesting, I would say. Very, very interesting. Let me see. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. You know my personal number, which is 9899242978. I repeat, 9899242978. The people, those who offended from this magazine, probably the Joe Biden himself, they can contact me on this number. I will tell you what is exactly a fact. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. A detailed video from our side, year 2026, United States versus China. More such interesting videos on the cards. And remember, our YouTube channel or our social desk, which includes YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Telegram, the social apps like Takata, MX, Moj, and whatnot. We hardly bother about views, comments, subscriptions. Hardly. So it hardly matters how many views I get, because I know one thing, that my message is passed to the right person. Because once I upload this video, in a span of few days, somebody from United States will review my LinkedIn profile. That I knew. And that is the most interesting thing to me. Like Steve Jobs said, to me, it hardly matters whether I get an award or not. It hardly matters. And that is a fact. I always love Steve Jobs, because to him it hardly matters. But he also said that what matters to him is when somebody called him in the wee hours and said, Steve, I'm using your iPhone or probably iMac or iPod or iMac Airbook or any other product by Apple, my favorite company. It's an amazing product you have made. And this is what really matters to Steve Jobs. And end result, maybe he not coded any product in his whole lifetime, but his imagination and his knowledge about the technological revolution is exemplary. That's more important thing. And this is what I learned from Steve Jobs. He influenced a lot. A very straightforward, sometimes brazen, as far as his communication skills is concerned, but it hardly bothers to him. Similarly, to me, it hardly bothers how many views, counts, and all such things I get. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. But before I wind up, I would like to have a very common remark which I always give on the social media, and I would continue to give by the time I'm alive. We have reached a pathetic situation. Rather, lexically speaking, pathetic is a cheap word. I should have more fancier word than pathetic. We have reached a pathetic situation when the publications to whom we are supposed to trust, read by millions of people, these publications are now providing a biased figure. Rather, I would say these publications provide incorrect opinions. That would be more nicer way to explain, let it be. And these incorrect opinions create mess up and result millions and millions of investors worldwide I say, they are misguided. And I am noticing this daily. But yes, time is very limited. It is already 6 a.m. my place, Singapore, and I'm making this video. Whenever I get time, I make a detailed video, and I would continue to be. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. Have a great time ahead. I repeat my number 9899242978. Have a great time ahead. Thank you and cheers.